Hi, everybody. It's Jamie here with Outlier Marketing Group, business strategist and digital marketing expert. I am super excited to be here today to talk to you a little bit about how to keep things simple and keep forward momentum. So I've been quiet the past few weeks, as you probably noticed. And part of the reason why is we just relaunched the entire Outlier Marketing Group website. And that was a monumental task, and it was so much work. This is probably hands down one of the biggest websites that we've built, with forms and calendars and payments, and we're still not done, actually, truth be told. We are actually continuing to add layers upon layers to that site, because one of the things that I know after having been in business for 14 years is that to grow and scale, you have to have systems in place. And that was something that for the past probably 4 or 5 years ago, we really formalized the onboarding process that we have in business. And I have continued to take steps forward to really continue to streamline and hone that process. So now, as we've opened up other services, right? So we have our done for you stuff where we handle stuff for people start to finish. We also have our taught to you stuff, which are like courses and programs and all of that sort of stuff. And one of the things that I really want to be able to do is have someone besides myself who can onboard a client, or to have a resource bank for clients to be able to go to say, like, how to add somebody as a Facebook page admin, how to install the Facebook pixel. So kind of like all of these little things. So long story short, we're making like the initial website build is up, which was like the big push, right? So I personally rewrote most of the copy on the website. Yeah, it was just so much work. And I share this with you guys because I really, I work with lots of entrepreneurs in all different stages of their business. So some people that I work with are, they make 6 and 7 figures, like well into 6 figures, well into 7 figures. Other people that I work with are not quite at that stage yet. And one of the things that I often see that happens is people get stuck. And that's not to say that I haven't been guilty of this in my career either. I think at some point this kind of happens to everybody, right? And there are places where you can get stuck for longer periods of time and you struggle to move forward. And so today I really just wanted to talk to you about, like, keep things simple to keep that forward momentum. I don't want anybody to ever get stuck in one period for too long. And like, I get it. It happens. It happens to the best of us. But I think the thing is, if you can break down what you're doing into simple and manageable tasks, then you can continue to grow and build and get that momentum, right? But the problem is people look at a website, as an example, as like this monumental task. And that's the problem, right? So when you actually break down something like a website or a funnel or building, like productizing your business, it's actually not one huge task. It's a series of lots of small tasks. And that's the biggest mistake that I see everybody make. They're like, oh my God, I have to rewrite all the copy for my whole website. And it's like, or I have to write all the copy for my website. I have to write all my Facebook ads, and I have to have like all the emails in place for my funnel, and I have to have all the videos recorded for my course before I launch. And the fact of the matter is that is not the case. I do not want you to do that. And there's several reasons why I don't want you to do that. But the main reason why I don't want you to do that is that you're never going to start. You're never going to launch. You're never going to get that momentum forward, right? And you're always going to kind of stay in this stuck place. So my suggestion to you is figure out what it is, like where you are that's kind of getting you stuck. And then take a step back from it and say, why is this getting me stuck? And 9 out of 10 times, it's fear, or that the task is too big to kind of do in one sitting. And so when you sit down to do it, you're like, I don't know where to begin. And then you don't begin because you don't know where to begin. And then you blocked an hour for something that's really like a 3-day task and you just can't get it done, right? Like, let's just face it. Like, you cannot write 10 pages of website copy in one day. You can't launch a whole funnel in one day. You can't, like, and that's not to be negative, right? But it's not something that's manageable. It's just not manageable to do it in that amount of time. So I want you to think about what it is that's like getting you stuck. And I want you to break it down into small tasks, super small tasks, like tasks that you can do in half hour, 30 minutes, whatever that is. And once you start to do that, you'll realize that if you just start to break all these things down into little tasks, they actually become way more manageable at accomplishing, and you're going to feel less overwhelmed. And as you start to take this philosophy of, let me take this big task and let me break it down into smaller tasks, you'll start to feel that momentum forward. You'll also start to feel like, yep, whoop, cross this off, yep, cross this off, yep, cross this off. Awesome, okay? And that's the thing, like when you can't get that satisfaction of cross this off, cross this off, cross this off, then you aren't going to try and move forward because you're like every day the same, do all my website copy, do all my website copy, do all my website copy, the same things on your list every day. But if you were to say, create 3 descriptions for the homepage of my website, that's a way different task than create all my website copy. And I'm just using that as an example, right? Like, because a lot of times too, people will be like, all right, I'm launching a course. I outlined the course. Now I'm going to go record 35 videos, right? Or whatever the number of videos. I'm going to go write all the slides for it. And the fact of the matter is that they do all that work, and then, they never usually finish all that work is really what happens. And that's the problem, because it's too big of a task for you to accomplish in one sitting. So break things down into tasks that are manageable, number 1. Number 2, I think the other thing is that when you start to look at building your business into breaking it down into these small tasks, you start to really understand how everything is integrated. And this is something that if you've watched any of my videos, you've heard me talk about, because to me, it's all about building this business ecosystem online, right? Like, yes, you have Facebook. Yes, you have Instagram. Yes, you have email. You've got your website. But all of these things are all connected in one way, shape, or form or the other. And the more that you can understand and begin to see how they're integrated, and how when you start to break these things down in little tasks, the more integrated it all becomes. And I actually, I knew that I was going to talk about this today. So I'm reading the book, The Whole Brain Child, because I have 2 little boys, and, just trying to do my part of becoming a better parent. And one of the things in this book that really resonated with me is they talk a lot about integration. And in this particular case, they're talking about integration when it comes to the brain. And I just wanted to read a quick passage to you guys today from this. And it says, integration takes the distinct parts of your brain and helps them work together as a whole. And to me, when you are building a business ecosystem, right, it's all of those little things that you do, and all of those little action items that you take, and all of those little things that you cross off your list that make a complete business ecosystem. So when you're thinking about, oh, well, I don't really want to do Instagram story today, or I don't really want to do like a Facebook post or a Facebook Live or an email or whatever that is, remember that each one of those little things are all feeding a larger and more integrated ecosystem. And it's not just like, and this book goes on to talk about horizontal integration of the brain and vertical integration of the brain. And I'm not going to like bore you guys with all that stuff, but I want you to be aware of the fact that as you're building your business, as you're doing social media and digital marketing and email marketing, and you're on these platforms and you're creating content, it's all integrated. Every one of those little tasks serves a greater purpose in terms of creating a more integrated ecosystem and driving that traffic down that funnel or into your ecosystem, or whatever that next step is that you want that ideal client to create. And so I want you to remember this as you go about your week, because the more that you can take the time to get these tasks to be manageable and accomplishable and be able to get them done in one sitting, the more tasks that you're going to accomplish, because you're excited about the fact that you're accomplishing tasks. The more momentum you get, the more integrated your brand becomes, the more of a business ecosystem that you're building. And so this week, I want you to start to take those tasks and break them down into little tiny manageable tasks, 30 minutes, 1 hour, whatever it is. So if you know you have this big thing that you have to accomplish, take it and break it down. And if you don't have, if you're at a point where your business, where your website's up, you got your course up, like all you are doing is your weekly emails and potentially a launch down the road, still, whatever it is, take it and break it down into tasks that you can do in an hour. That way you get that sense of, hey, I got this done. You get to cross that off your list of things to do, and you get that endorphin rush when you cross that off your list. But understand it's part of something bigger. So you're not just like doing a task to do a task. Anytime you work on your business, you're building part of your ecosystem. So even if it's something just as simple as a social media post or an Instagram story or a Facebook Live, it's all integrated. And so keep things simple to keep that momentum moving forward. And remember, it's a living, breathing thing. Like, it's never going to be perfect. It's progress over perfection. I think Marie Forleo said that, and she said it best, progress over perfection. And so this week, go out, break those tasks down, have a lot of fun, and let's get some momentum.